After a tragic accident befalls her best friend, a girl decides to drag her best friend 47 meters up a cell phone tower for fun. Should you watch this? I'm John Stark from MagTheMovieGuy.com, and this is my review of Fall. I'm a blind film critic, so I watch films with audio description. And this was done by Deluxe with narration by Nicole Sansorello. I also rented this off of iTunes, so if you're wondering, where is it? That's like, I got tired of waiting for it. We have films that debuted in October that are on streaming services now, so actually, considering Strange World is on Disney Plus, we have films that debuted in November that are on streaming services. So the fact that this back in August is not on a streaming service lets me know it's headed somewhere like Stars, where we're never going to get audio description, and so I gave up. I didn't really want to see this, but it doesn't really have actresses I'm familiar with. It's trying to get me to watch it because it has Jeffrey Dean Morgan, who I love. Love Jeffrey Dean Morgan, but he's not the star of this film. If he was the star of this film, unquestionably I would have watched this film right away. But yeah, this is, I call this 47 meters up because it's kind of the same thing, just going up instead of down. I guess it's a spoiler that something tragic happens at the beginning of this, but it's also the catalyst for the film. It's why the film happens. So you could say it's a spoiler, but it's sort of like saying, you know, letting somebody know that there's an asteroid headed for Earth in Armageddon. It's like that's the reason why the film is happening. So it's it gets the film going. The catalyst cannot be the spoiler for the film. It just can't be. There has to be some sort of there's some reason the film is happening. And that happens to be this thing that happens at the beginning of the film. So the big thing is these two girls climbing the tower, and they climb the tower, and oh shit, ladder breaks off, and now they have no way to get back down. So they're stuck, and they have phones. One girl's like, I have 60,000 followers. They should be able to save us. I was like, oh my god. Please let her get cell phone reception and nobody saves her. That was the plot point that I wanted to see. Was like, I have 60,000 followers. If I could just post, one of them will save me. I want like 60,000. I mean, like, if I posted something to my 92 followers, I don't think any of them would save me. Even if I had 60,000 followers and I posted something and I was like, help me, I'm located at Fort Woods. Just, you know, nobody would, I just don't think that's, you guys come here for movie reviews, not to save lives. And I don't know what people go to her channel for, but it's not to, you know, it's not a life-saving thing. Anyway, so they get stuck up there, and this film goes through the many, you know, every other film like this that came before, whether it's 47 Meters Down, The Shallows, Frozen. And I see Frozen, by the way. No, not the Disney one. Frozen. There was a Frozen before Frozen. It's actually the OG, so it doesn't have to change its name. There was a film called Frozen before Disney made a film called Frozen. And it does a lot like this too. They were trapped up instead of down, in a situation where they had no way of getting down. So, yeah, it's that's what this film is. And I've heard from those that can see that, you know, this film is really triggering if they have a fear of heights. And so I was wondering, well, how does it translate for us in the blind community and visually impaired community? If you can't really see to appreciate the fear of heights thing, how does that really work? I thought the sound design was good. I mean, it sounds like they are somewhat up in the air, but it does sound like they're mic'd. It also sounds like they're mic'd, but in a sound stage. Because when you get that much wind, you would get wind whipping the microphones. But I know they're trying to avoid that because then it would reveal that they're wearing microphones. So it's obviously not real wind, and they're obviously on a set because there's no way for them to, or they're redubbing the microphones. Real wind would have, at that height, definitely would have caught in the microphones at some points. If you make the documentary out of this, I'm sure any climbing documentary has that problem. So, yeah, they're up there, and they throw in this other like dramatic wrench in the wheel, which I was like, why would you bring that up right now? But the film needs one more thing for them to have a problem about, and yeah, I mean the girls are fine, but these are not great performances. They were fine. Their reactions to things were almost kind of like, I was like, well, it's a movie. You know, I never felt like it wasn't a movie. I never felt like I was actually like watching these two girls being like, oh my God, I hope they survive. And like trying to Google like, did these girls die? This was not like Blair Witch Project. I didn't believe in them. It's not found footage, so it's not really a fair comparison. Yeah, I like The Shallows, probably the best of the films that I just listed. And it worked well. It paced itself very well. It put her in a situation where she felt like she couldn't get out of it, but it felt like she could. You know what I'm saying? Like, it felt like we all saw the path. We just wondered if she would actually get out of the situation. There were hopeful moments. Here, there's less hopeful moments. And it just kind of feels like they're screwed. Even 47 meters down, aside from them getting the bends, felt like they had at least a shot at survival if they could just wait until the sharks went away. Here, it's just like, what do you do? I mean, you can't create a ladder. They only have a limited amount of rope. So it's just, I spent the whole film going, I think they're going to be stuck up here. Like, you know, it's not really much you can do. I mean, you can't fall yourself because you'll die. So, yeah. When you go, it's easier to go up than it is to go down. Yep. Yeah, I think this film probably was just lost on me. I think it has great audio description, but there's only just so much Nicole can really do to make this film good. I mean, there are a couple scenes that are intense that they try to build the tension to make you think that like some crazy shit's gonna happen earlier on, and then we're just gonna be left with like one girl for like an hour, which would have been, oh my God. But it's just so slow. And I guess that's the plus side, is at least she has somebody to talk to. They can talk to each other for most of the film, because if this was like The Shallows and she was just up there by herself, even The Shallows gave her a bird to talk to. It's just, yeah, this is just not, it just didn't do it for me. You know, you can't make somebody afraid of heights through audio description. This is the reason why I watch a lot of horror films now that I never would have watched before, because gore doesn't bother me anymore. I mean, I still just go, oh my God, oh, what the, there's still that part of me that's repulsed, but because I don't have to see it, I can actually watch it and review it. As opposed to being like, nah, I'm not watching this. No, I'm not putting myself through this. I don't like gore for gore's sake. So, yeah, I don't know that I would have seen this in theaters. I do have a fear of heights. It's very interesting to think about that. Like, would I have seen Fall in theaters, or would I have waited and Redboxed it, you know, back in the day? So, anyway, it just didn't really work for me. I don't think it's a terrible film, but I'm going to give Fall a C. Yeah, so if you want to listen to two girls stuck at the top of a tower for way longer than they need to be, this film should never be over 90 minutes long. No film like this should ever be over 90 minutes long. Every time you go over 90 minutes, you are, like, hurting yourself. The tighter the better on these films. Don't stretch for time. Don't be so worried about giving us like tons of backstory. and like 18 different reasons that they could die. It's just we get the situation. We know the dire, straits. It doesn't. Don't beleaguer it. Anyway, if you stayed this long for the review, you must like me a little bit, so please subscribe. I like to talk about audio description, and I like to try to make people more aware of it so that they will make it available on more titles, for my blind and visually impaired community. But I can't do that if I don't have subscribers. So the more subscribers I get, the louder of a voice I have, because the more people I have behind me, and that's how that works. So I love the subscribers I have, but I need to add some zeros behind them eventually if I'm ever gonna get the big people in Hollywood to listen to me. Yeah, you can also check me out on MacMovieGuy.com. You can follow me on Twitter at MacMovieGuy. You can go to Instagram and follow me there at MacTheMovieGuy. You can check out the audio description project, adp.acb.org, where it'll let you know what has audio description and where you can watch it. And you can go to the ADNA.org, where you can look up Miss Nicole Sansorello and see what else she's done. Maybe she's narrated a bunch of films you've watched before and you just have never really learned to appreciate her. Shame on you. But that's it. I'm going to review something else for you guys, and I will see you on the other side.